I'm Sarah, and I grew up in a dirty trailer park with an evil mom who threw me out of her home just because I was a teen mom. It all started when I was 14. I got into a relationship with an extremely manipulative boy. He convinced me that if I got pregnant, he would stop cheating on me and my mom would finally sober up. I knew it was stupid to believe him. And when I showed him my positive pregnancy test, he started laughing so hard he almost fell off of his chair. I immediately realized that he had only been messing with me, and getting me pregnant was nothing but a big joke to him. Afterward, he told everyone in our school that he had pranked me into getting pregnant. And if that wasn't bad enough, my former best friend wrote a post on Facebook saying she was embarrassed to be friends with a pregnant trailer park girl like me. I cried for days because I'd absolutely no one to support me. When I told my mom, she didn't care at first. She said it was none of her business. But when my belly got bigger, I started to get a lot of attention from our neighbors and family members. They were all very friendly and wanted to help me, but my mom hated that. She accused me of being pregnant to get attention. I told her that was ridiculous, but she was so mad she said she would no longer support me financially and I would need to get a job. Well, I quickly found a job at a kiosk. It was easy work, but being pregnant was so tiring that I fell asleep at the counter. And of course, someone decided to rob the store and he stole 20 expensive bottles. When the owner of the kiosk found out what happened, he immediately fired me and refused to pay me my salary for the past 3 weeks of work. I was so freaking mad. I even told my mom about what happened. And to my surprise, she got angry too. That's why we went back to the kiosk at night and threw stones into the windows. I know this sounds crazy, but it felt so good to destroy something, and for a moment, me and my mom forgot about our silly feud. But a few days later, in my 5th month of being pregnant, I was feeling so weak and exhausted that I couldn't leave my bed anymore. I asked my mom to bring me to the hospital, but she said I should stop making such a drama, and then she went back to watching Judge Judy. Meanwhile, I peed myself because I lacked the strength to leave my bed and go to the bathroom. My last option was to call an ambulance, and that's what I did. But before they arrived, I already blacked out. And the next thing I remember was waking up inside a hospital with a nurse right next to me. She told me that the doctors had done an ultrasound and found out that I was having triplets inside my belly. She said, "Having triplets is very rare. It only happens in about 1 in 8,000 pregnancies. But it's even rarer for a teenager like you." She sounded really excited, like this was good news for me. But I didn't want to have triplets. I was only 14 years old. How should I raise 3 babies without a job and a mom who hated both me and my babies? Well, the next day, a reporter came into my room and asked me if she could run a story about me. I naively agreed because it sounded like a fun thing to do. But then they put me on the front page of our local newspaper and wrote, "14-year-old girl pregnant with triplets," with a big photo of me laying inside the hospital holding my 3 daughters. I looked terrible on the photo, and the article argued that society should put more effort into preventing teen pregnancies. Wow, this was so humiliating. And to make things worse, my mom stormed into my hospital room, holding the newspaper and screamed, "Stop trying so hard to get attention! You're an embarrassment to our whole family! Don't ever come back to my trailer!" Wow, my mom just kicked me out of her home, and she didn't even take a look at her 3 granddaughters. This meant that as soon as I left the hospital, I'd be homeless. I thought my only way to survive this nightmare was to give my 3 daughters up for adoption. But then my Aunt Monica came by at the hospital to see her 3 nieces. She was a successful lawyer and the smartest person I knew. After telling her about my problems, she said she and her wife had been thinking about adopting a kid for many years. And then she asked me if I wanted to move in with her for some time. I loved the idea and immediately said yes. But I should have known it wouldn't work out. We constantly argued about how to raise my 3 daughters. They said I wasn't strict enough with my parenting. And I guess they were right, because even though they were less than a year old, I sometimes left them alone at home so I could go shopping or eat something outside. I thought my daughters were safe and would take care of themselves. But my aunt said I was a terrible mother, and she ended up pressuring me into signing the papers to let her and her wife adopt my 3 daughters. I had tears in my eyes when I gave my signature, but I knew I did it for my daughters, And today, I have no regrets. Because not only are they better parents than me, but they also allowed me to live with them, and that completely changed my life for the better. They forced me to go back to high school, and they checked every day whether I did my homework or not. After I graduated from high school, they signed me up for college, and it's fair to say that they are the parents I never had. They gave me guidance and tough love. My daughters are 6 years old now, and of course they don't call me mom because I'm more like a big sister to them. My own mom recently passed away due to her substance problems, and I gotta tell you, even though I don't miss her much, I still visit her grave once a month. She wasn't the most competent mother, but I do know that she loved me and that she did the best she could. I will always remember and respect her for that. Thank you, Mom.